Ladies and gentlemen, this is Ballet Rain. Okay, our hot take of the day is that the ballet world as a whole has been severely underutilizing their ballet variations. Now I know we all love Bluebird and we've all enjoyed countless Grand Pas Classiques, but there are so many beautiful variations hidden in the ballet repertoire that are just begging to finally get some limelight. So here we are as your most trusted, very favorite ballet nerds on the internet with a humble attempt to fix this exact issue and introduce you guys to a bunch of rarely performed and underappreciated ballet variations that you probably didn't know existed. So if you're ready to find some new variations and why we love them, then make sure to hit the like button, slide over a little bit and hype it as well. That helps us a lot.
Yes.
And we'll get going. These are, by the way, these are curated over countless years.
Countless years.
Aggressive, enthusiastic, very thorough ballet nerding.
Yeah, exactly.
So you're getting the good stuff today, just in case you doubted that for a second. Okay. You are getting certified ballet nerd, expertly sourced from thousands of hours on the ballet side of the internet.
First variation on today's list is from Les Solfège, not to be confused with La Solfège. We mentioned La Solfège in the last episode. This variation is the first girl variation from Les Solfège, and this one is absolutely stunning.
For the record, I keep saying La Solfège.
I know, me too. Les Solfège, plural.
Now, for the record, Les Solfège is a storyless ballet, meaning there's no actual narrative plot.
No plot
to follow.
line. It is a one-act ballet, and it's only like 20 minutes long, 30 minutes
Just
at best.
20-30 minutes of beautiful ballet for the sake of beautiful ballet.
The choreography is by Mikhail Fokine, and the music is by Chopin.
And the first girl's variation, I mean, there's a pas de deux first.
Yes.
And then there's the solos, and this is the first girl.
This variation is actually quite long in comparison to a lot of other ballet variation. This one comes out to about 2 minutes and 18 seconds, which is long by ballet standards.
Most variations air on like minute 30. This variation, obviously because she's a sylph. In Les Solfège, the sylphs kind of represent the like ideals and dreams and inspirations of the poet, who is like our male protagonist of the ballet.
Yeah.
And so with that in mind, this variation has to have a very, very effortless, dreamlike, ethereal, sylph-like quality.
Yeah, it's very idealistic and it's very ethereal in the setting, and obviously the variations sort of portray that as well.
Yes, we have a lot of grand jeté to have that weightless quality.
Yeah.
We have a lot of really sweeping port de bras, and towards the middle section it kind of slows down a little bit more, and we have a lot of these arabesques to penché, roll through the foot, which is for the dancer it's very tiring. Roll down into a penché arabesque,
straight leg,
have to like so effortless or so effortless this way.
Yeah, it's supposed to represent like beauty and song, and I think the melody is also very, very beautiful.
Yes.
But you also see very often in this variation is sort of the singing motif. It's a pantomime for singing.
Yeah.
From like moving the hands from the lips outwards. It implies that she's singing sort of to the poet, and that's kind of like his inspiration, if you would, for his poems and his writings and his stories.
Oh, that's so sweet. I actually didn't know that.
Yeah, exactly.
But you see it.
Yeah.
And there's that.
Yeah, exactly. It's really pretty. There's a lot of like soft jump with really soft landing, and a lot of bending from like the torso, which I think gives it the whole, especially with the romantic tutu that kind of like floats
really
with you.
Flowy,
it gives this sort of, it feels like a mist, and it feels like sort of like this billowy cloud that's just like dancing, and it's really, really beautiful. Anyway, Les Solfège is fantastic. Absolutely recommend this one.
It is, for the dancer, a game of stamina. It's a mental game, you know, to maintain that quality through the entire 2 minute and 18 second variation.
Exactly.
But for the audience, of course, it is a treat all the way through.
Agreed. Tiny note, I think this is one of the only variations that ends with her facing the back.
Oh, that's right.
That's a very rare thing to see in variation. Most everything in ballet is very forward, and it's very like representing like, something. Boom. Yeah, but this one, she ends in the back. It feels like she just turned into a silhouette, like she's kind of faded into the background. It gives you that sort of impression. This is a really cool variation. Highly recommend you watch it.
The next variation is a personal favorite of mine.
Yes.
Because it's a jumping variation, disclaimer. This is from the ballet Coppelia. It's in the Act 3, which is the wedding act of Coppelia. So obviously it's when Hilda and Franz are getting married, and they have a bunch of variations just to celebrate. And this one in particular is called Folly. This actually doesn't appear in every single production,
Not every single production for sure.
Which is why it's pretty niche.
But the other time you will hear the same music for this variation is in Sylvia. And in Sylvia, this music is actually used for the male variation.
So it's technically, it could be a male variation, which is also pretty niche.
That's true.
But we're speaking about the female variation for this one. The choreography for Coppelia is done by Marius Petipa and Enrico Cicchetti after Arthur St. Leon. And the music, of course, by Leo Delibes.
Such sweet music.
And this variation, obviously, having it be a jumping variation is one of my favorites.
Obviously.
It is so joyful and jubilant, and just the music in and of itself, if you just listen to the music, you'll know exactly what kind of variation it is.
Yeah.
Because I feel like the choreography, particularly, really, really suits the music in this one.
I think so, yeah, it does.
And she comes out and she's in like the jester kind of.
Yeah, it's very gesterful, sort of like bright
colorful
colors.
And bright and happy, and like it's really playful and sweet. And
the energy is really high and it's very bright, I think, and it just feels like there's so much life and energy and obviously color in this variation.
All of the steps in that variation are steps that I really enjoy doing, like the big seesaw attitude.
Yeah, exactly.
And soda basks at the very end.
Exactly, yeah,
and like
I know.
just all of it. I'm like, wow, someone like thought of me while making
I know, it feels like it was custom made for you.
It feels like it was custom made for me. I love that middle
The middle passage is my favorite. And that middle section with the assemblée and the entrechâssis and the big suscent to the attitude is so satisfying. It gives a sort of impression of like fireworks or a confetti cannon or a little party blower or something, and I think it matches so well. And it matches the music, it matches the vibe of the piece in general. It's just a perfect passage.
I have a lot of personal opinions about this variation, so I guess I'll share them here.
Go for it.
I feel like having it be in like a really nice 3/4 reminds me of a merry-go-round, and it really ties into like the carnival kind of feel.
Yeah, carnival vibes.
It has carnival vibes.
It's absolutely carnival vibes.
It's so cute. It's a pretty standard length variation, a minute 30.
Yeah.
I like this variation a lot because, for the record, there's not a ton of female variations that involve a ton of jumps.
And I think it just to watch as a viewer, as like an appreciator, I think it's really fun because it brings life to the party.
I really want to see this performed more at YGP.
Yeah,
that's all I'm saying. I don't know if like people can actually make that happen, but like if more people perform this at YGP, I would not be mad.
The next variation is, okay, this is not just a rare variation, it's a rare ballet in general. And this is La Ventana by August Bournonville with music by Christian Lembay and Wilhelm Christian Holm. This variation takes place in the middle of a pas de trois, actually. So we already had like a pas de trois section, and this is the first girl.
We're focusing on a lot of girl ones today.
We're focusing on girl one because we personally learned it once a long time ago. And it was one of the greatest joys and privileges of our entire lives and ballet nerd career. So
what I like about La Ventana specifically is that there are a lot of little passages that you will not see in today's common ballet passage vernacular.
I think it being such an old ballet and it being by Bournonville, I mean, his choreography is very, very unique compared to like the typical Petipa sort of stuff that we see today. If you watched our video on our Cicchetti and Bournonville challenge, we learned a lot of very unique stuff during that 1 week of training. So that was really fun. Check it out after this video. This variation is so much fun because I think, and we mentioned in the video, Bournonville's choreography is so incredibly musical.
It's so
perfectly musical, and all the steps, like this first step with the brises, with the little turn, is just, it's so
on the music.
It's so musical because the music says
you do. And you do.
It all fits so perfectly, and it just makes sense, and it's so satisfying to dance. I think it's really satisfying to watch.
Yeah.
It's one of those variations that it just makes you feel so comfortable and so satisfied just because it makes sense.
Yeah, as long as you breathe with the music, you can do the steps. Like the music drives the steps. Even that da 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 da. It's just like rhythmically, it's just,
it makes so much sense.
Classic Bournonville. There's a lot of little footwork, a lot of little pas de bourrées and emboîtés, but I also think there's quite a bit of extensions in this one.
More or less,
you have the extension to the side and to the front, and then you have that little
penché
relevé section. Not that Bournonville really requires high extensions, though.
I think ballet back then in that era didn't really focus on it that much. It was more about how it felt, and just how it like the energy it carried.
It's adorable and it's cute.
It's very cute.
It's joyful. Yeah, we have a lot of joyful.
It's very joyful and very quaint, and it's a very girly girl sort of variation.
Yeah.
Humble opinion. But
yes.
La Ventana is a fantastic. This one again standard length, about a minute and 16, minute 15.
Yeah.
The whole pas de trois actually is really cute. Would love to see it performed more.
The next one is also rare,
Very rare.
This is the variation from the Pharaoh's Daughter. And now there are Pharaoh's Daughters variations that are performed quite commonly, or slightly more commonly at YGP, Prix de Lausanne, etc.
Yeah.
But that's not the one we're talking about today.
No, it is
not rare enough.
Yeah, exactly. The one we're going to be sharing with you today is from the Act 1 pas de deux, and it's a species variation, our female protagonist. This one is a blink and it's gone. It's so short. It's literally like under 40 seconds long, and it is literally just a flash and it's over. Choreography is by Marius Petitpas and the music is by Cesare Pugni. I love this variation because there are so many fun, classically Petitpas passages in it, but there are also some really unique ones as well.
Yeah.
Like the beginning part, I think that you can watch it and be like, oh, that's so Petitpas. You literally, you see this step in Don Q, you see this step in like so many.
Paquita, I think.
Yeah, Paquita. There's so many variations with those passages. But towards the end, when you have that manège, it's such a unique manège.
Arguably, the most unique manège I've ever seen in a ballet variation ever.
Yeah, it has like this grand table with a turn. So it's really fun.
Yeah,
it's really, really fun.
It's unique, it's fun, and again, why is it so hidden? Why do we not perform this? Because it's cute.
I think it's delightful. I think it's really, really fun.
This is also a pretty joyful variation, isn't it?
It is very joyful. It's kind of like she just met her lover and everyone's just dancing together, so it's really fun.
She's an energetic variation, I think.
Yeah, it is.
And it's quite fast-paced. I feel like actually all of these have been. I think in general, Aspicia is quite an assertive woman. Not in a very forceful way, but she has a lot of energy.
She's lively and she's very playful, I think. She has a lot of that energy in her. So this variation sort of reflects that, and it's kind of good at the beginning of the ballet, or like close to the beginning of the ballet, to kind of get to establish her character and her sort of tone for the rest of the ballet. This one is fantastic. It's a joy. It's very, very Petitpas. It's painfully Petitpas. This is one of his first ballets, and one of his first multi-act ballets. I think we mentioned that in a previous video. Yeah. So another bit of ballet nerd trivia for you. Yeah. This one's fantastic. Last variation that we're sharing with you guys today is definitely a rarity, but I think it definitely needs to be performed more.
Please. Before we get into it, let's all agree that this variation really should be performed more.
Yes.
I want to see this at YGP.
Yes.
I want to see this at Prix de Lausanne.
Yeah.
I want this to be in the official variations list for Prix de Lausanne. I would die happy. Aside from Jemima Puddle Duck, okay?
Yeah, no, this one is equally fabulous, and it's kind of one of our favorite male variations because we needed to give you a male variation.
Yeah.
This one's from Le Female Gardé, and it's not actually from our male protagonist. This is actually from our
secondary male lead. Yeah. This is, of course, Alan's variation from Act 1 of La Female Gardé. At this point in the ballet, he has just entered the scene, sort of as his first introduction to us as the audience. Yeah. And he's met Lise, our female protagonist, obviously, whom he is arranged to marry. And now, Alan is he's quite a character. He's a very fun character. I think he's one of the more comedic characters in the ballet repertoire. He's a little bit awkward, and he's suspiciously attached to his red umbrella, which was confiscated from him for this variation. The choreography is, of course, by Frederick Ashton, and the music is by John Lansbury. Brilliant combination, by the way. And the variation is, I mean, it's on the longer side for a male variation, and also because the variation is so slow. Like, the music is very slow. It comes out to about a minute and 43-ish seconds. But that being said, this is also not your conventional male variation. No. Most male variations follow the opening jumps, middle turn section, and bigger jumps. Final turn to finish. finish. That's sort of the
male variation template TM.
Yes. Alan's variation kind of takes this and pushes it to the side, and we're doing our own thing.
Yeah,
and this variation is such a joy to watch.
Such a joy.
Because the whole point of this variation is to highlight Alan as a character, not just as like a dancer. It is so awkward. It is so stiff. Awkward. It is so clumsy.
It's almost painfully weird. It has this whole energy of he has no idea why he's even here. He just met this girl and was just told you're gonna have to marry her, and also you can't have your umbrella until you do a dance to impress her. It's just so funny and awkward.
It has kid who has no idea how to pose for a photo energy.
Yeah, it does.
All over it. And as a kid who didn't know how to pose for photos, I find that the variation succeeds very effectively in endearing the character to me.
Do not be fooled though, even though this variation looks incredibly clumsy and unhinged, this variation takes a ton of control and honestly a dancer with very, very, very strong technique, even though you kind of throw it out the window. I think all of the steps really require you to be so comfortable in your classical training so that you can then take it and put it way off balance or use the arms and legs in a completely different, very weirdly unballetic way.
It's such a different way of moving.
It is. And the choreography is fast. Like obviously the beginning is slow. Eventually it picks up and it gets unhinged. It gets really progressively more and more unruly and unhinged. And it obviously ends in the iconic little, what do you call that? Like a
front
walkover into the laps of both parents. And it's very funny.
I think this variation genuinely takes a huge amount of athleticism and attention to detail.
Yeah, it really does.
Just to make all of those movements, those quote-unquote clumsy movements, read really well and clearly, as well as maintaining the legibility and also the comedy of it. I genuinely think that every Alan I've ever seen do this variation, I've always been like, wow.
Wow.
Like genuinely impressed because what a dancer you have to be.
Highly recommend this one.
Please, let's get this on the Pretty Little stage.
Yes, get this on like global stages.
Please. Can we start doing these for ballet competitions?
Please.
Like, why not spice it up?
Why not have the judges laughing in their seats? Subjectively, this is one of the funnest variations, and we would love to see it more often.
So there you have it, you guys. Those are 5 more ultra rare limited edition, oh my god, you've never seen these before variations. Hopefully we're able to introduce you to something that you haven't seen before. And now, congratulations, you have moved a couple more notches up in your ballet nerding skills for free. Ta-da! Sorry. This is part 3, and if you want to see the other 2 parts, they will be linked above and below in a neat little playlist for your viewing pleasure.
And if you want to see a part 4, then make sure you leave a comment. Let us know that you want to see it, because
there are actually so many.
A huge thank you to all of our patrons for supporting us and the channel and helping us make videos like these every single Saturday, because we love doing it. It just means so much that you guys are a part of it as well. Thank you so much from us and the team. We see you guys, and we want to let you know that you guys are our entire world. We love you guys so much. And if you have not become a patron yet, but you would love to, then feel free to check out the link in the description box or go to patreon.com/balletrain and become a patron over there so you can join all of our crazy shenanigans, because the Ballet Rain after show will be premiering right after this one on Patreon.
Yeah.
So if you don't want to miss that and you want to kind of join the fun, we'd be so glad to have you, so we'll see you over there.
Anyways, I think that is all from us for now. This is Ballet Rain signing off until the next video.
Bye!
What's our target though?
30 minutes.
30 minutes? Do you think we can get this approximately 22 minute finished video in 30 minutes?
Let's try.
Oh god.
Again, choreography is by Marius Pettipa, and the music is by sorry. The
buffering. Hold up. Let's go.
30 minutes.
Oh my god.
All right, you guys.
So wait, sorry.
Sorry, we were just high-fiving.
Outro time.
Outro time.